As the impact from the coronavirus pandemic continues, the tolls continue to climb. Here in the U.S., over 46,400 confirmed cases and at least 593 deaths. Coupling in, of course, economic impact. And according to a survey last week, Survey USA indicated that 14 million people have already experienced temporary layoffs, while 2% of workers have lost their jobs outright. And those numbers will continue to climb as well. So joining us now live to talk about how a special group of volunteers are stepping up to help serve communities in need from Team Rubicon is the CEO and co-founder Jake Wood. Jake, thank you so much for joining us. We talked to you all after a lot of natural disasters, but now your teams of veterans and volunteers are stepping up for their country in a crisis again. Where are you set up, and what is the biggest need you're finding right now?
Well, that's right, Jen. Thank you for having me. We've been partners with the Weather Channel for a long time now. And like you said, typically this organization is responding to tornadoes and floods and hurricanes. But we're seeing a different kind of disaster playing out across the country right now. Team Rubicon is in communities all across the country. We've got 112,000 volunteers nationwide. We're mobilizing all of them in a nationwide Neighbors Helping Neighbors campaign, in addition to providing them with playbooks for how they can partner with local food banks and food pantries to help with things like last mile logistics, food delivery, food support operations. One of the things that we're seeing is that the typical food pantry or food bank volunteer is in that at-risk demographic. They're over the age of 60 or 65, which means that they should not be going out to conduct those volunteer activities. So our veterans and first responders are stepping in to fill that void. It's not something that we would typically do. It's not our standard mission, but this is a whole of America crisis right now, and it's going to require a whole of America response. So we're stepping into the void.
How are your teams implementing the necessary social distancing?
Yeah, well, that's really important. You know, through our Neighbors Helping Neighbors campaign, we've developed protocols and guidelines in consultation with doctors and infectious disease experts to make sure that our volunteers, as they're helping vulnerable neighbors, are not contributing to the problem. We're ensuring that they are staying, a minimum of 6 feet away from those that they are assisting. We're making sure that they're going through the necessary sanitation procedures and decontamination procedures. That's really important. One of the things that's the hallmark of the military or any veteran is, adherence to good discipline. And so we're confident that our volunteers can follow those protocols and ensure that they are helping to facilitate effective social distancing by supporting their neighbors who otherwise might struggle with that isolation and containment.
Yeah, no, so true. Discipline is key. And real quick, New York, the epicenter. What is the situation there, and what do they need? Food, testing, both?
The situation in New York is dire. We've had some of our most highly trained incident managers contracted out to the state of New York for several weeks now. The situation is bad. They need more testing. They need more hospital beds. The self-quarantine measures in place are helping to flatten the curve, but the worst is still ahead of New York, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Jake Wood, CEO and founder of Team Rubicon, thank you for joining us. You guys are basically creating your playbook as you go, and we appreciate everything that you are doing.